Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this afternoon with this beautiful boxer Louise and her trainer Fred. And what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is her ability to understand and respond to her obedience commands. The correction and the motivations that we give the puppies when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves the left hand free to give the correction, and the only correction that we give here at school is a little tug and let go on her training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. She's been fitted with her very own training collar, and you'll be taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session. Now Louise is sitting very nicely at Fred's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done, and the first exercise, which is very important to our city clients, is the heel. The command is Louise heel, and at this point her job is to walk even with your left leg, not dragging you down the street, but walking like a lady, and each time that you stop your feet, she's been taught to sit automatically without being told to wait for her next command. So when you're walking down the street in New York, your dog is by your side, and when you stop to cross traffic or talk to a neighbor, she's sitting nicely at your left and waiting for her next command. And the next command that Fred's going to give is the stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. Your long sit stay when you're practicing at home is going to be for 1 minute, working up to 3 minutes, and practice indoors as well as outdoors. When Fred returns back to her, he will walk all the way around her as an additional distraction, and she should remain seated until he praises her and releases her from that command. And they're going to take off heeling again. And if you notice, she stays right next to him. She's paying attention to what she's supposed to be doing. Not, dragging you down the street. And each time that Fred stops, she sits beautifully and waits for her next command. And he's going to leave her in another stay. Your sit stays help to develop focus and maturity, self-control, all the things these young boxers are lacking. This time Fred's going to use her name. He's going to call her right in front and have her sit facing his knees. And that eliminates the boxer jump. She comes and sits. She's anticipating her next command, and Fred's going to heel her out of that, and he'll demonstrate that recall exercise again for you. He leaves her in a stay. On the come, you use her name in a happy voice. Talks her in. She comes right in front and sits, and then she goes back to heel and back sitting. Beautifully done. Now they're going to set up for their down commands, and there are 2. She's such a cutie. But believe me, I've lived with a lot of boxers, so I understand. Now this is down from a heel position, so with your dog seated at your left, take your left open palm straight down toward the ground and give the one-word command to down and then stay. The long down stay when you're practicing at home, both indoors and outdoors, is for 3 minutes, working up to 5 minutes. Dogs always like the down stay better. When Fred returns back to her, he will walk around her just as he did on the sit stay, all the way back around to heel position, and she waits to be released from that exercise, and praise is always your release. And Fred will bring her back around, and he'll demonstrate that down from a heel one more time. So remember, always have your dog seated before you attempt to put her into a down. So tell her to sit first, left open palm straight down toward the ground, and then the stay command. When Fred calls her out of this, again, he uses her name. A happy voice brings her right in front and has her sit, and then return to heel. Very good. She's like doing the thinking. And the very last exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is your down from a distance. So with your dog seated, you give her the stay command. Walk out to the end of your leash. This is the only time that you will use your right hand to give a hand command. And she drops into a down from the end of the leash. That's your down from a distance. So we've demonstrated for you Louise's healing, her automatic sits, her stay, her down from a distance, and her come. These are all of the exercises that you're going to be practicing with her when you get her home. Amanda will go over answer any questions that you have during your follow-up training session. We've enjoyed having her. She's a sweetie, and thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.